This video will go over corrections for homework 5 using float variables and conditional statements to animate shapes. So the assignment here was to use one conditional statement and the Boolean variable mouse pressed, and one conditional statement with the Boolean variable key pressed, each respectively to animate a shape. So one shape would move just when the mouse is pressed, and one shape would move just when a key is pressed. So to start out, I'm going to create two float variables that will be used for the x location of each one of those shapes. So I'm going to say float x1, it's the x location of the first shape, first shape, and then float x2 will be the x location of the second shape. And I'm going to I have to initialize those two variables, give them a starting value, so x1 equals, I don't know, let's say 50, and x2, we'll make it a fair race between the two shapes, start that one out at 50 as well. Then I'm going to use those variables to make my two shapes. So I'm going to say ellipse x1, make that 100 pixels down on the y-axis, 50 by 50. That's my first shape. And the same thing using the x2 variable to make yet another shape. This one I'll maybe make 300 pixels down along the y-axis. If I'm to play this program right now, I've got those two shapes, and their locations are remaining the same because I haven't changed the value of x1 or x2. If I were to change those values, so let's say x1 equals x1 plus, I don't know, 1, and x2 equals x2 plus 1, then both of those shapes would move continuously. So now I want to change it so this shape that controls the movement of that first ellipse only happens when I'm pressing the mouse, so I need a conditional statement. If mouse pressed equals two equal signs to check for equality, true, open a curly bracket, don't put a semicolon between the closed parentheses and the open of the curly bracket. I've got that algebraic equation, close the curly bracket, editor a little bit bigger, and if I hit Command T, it's going to format properly so that it indents a little bit there. So now this top shape only moves if I'm pressing the mouse. If I release the mouse, it stops. I'm going to do the same thing using a key press conditional for the shape on the bottom. If key pressed is true, I'm getting a little error here because this closed curly bracket now corresponds with the open curly bracket here in the key press conditional. I need an additional one to close that conditional, so this one, the last one, is the curly bracket that corresponds with the curly bracket that opens the draw method. Again, I'm hitting Command T to auto format. So now, if we play, hit the mouse, the top shape moves, hit a key, the bottom shape moves. Just finish my comments. If mouse is pressed, if key is pressed, increase x location of top ellipse, increase x location of bottom ellipse. Don't forget, close conditional.